and this week we are in the cooking studio at Whole Foods for a very special feature on In the Kitchen. It is our series, Cooking with Kids. Children's Mercy Hospital is a sponsor. We have with us pediatric psychologist Dr. Meredith Dreyer. We also have executive chef Travis Napier from the Bristol and Jennifer Matasic from Whole Foods to help us with this series to answer the question, what's for dinner? So Dr. Dreyer, first of all, thank you for being here and for sponsoring this very valuable series. What is the scope of child obesity in the United States?
So currently about 1 in 3 children in the U.S. are overweight or obese, defined as their body mass index being above the 85th percentile. So it's a pretty common issue that we have, 1 in 3 of our kids has difficulty with their weight.
And what do you believe are the contributing factors to this?
So we really see it being a range from, what we have, the foods that we eat, the portion sizes are much greater than they used to be 15 or 30 years ago, and then we are a much less active society.
A lot of time spent in front of screens, and so the purpose of this series is to address that, also to encourage families to get into the kitchen and cook with their children. And with recipes and food preparation that's not that time consuming, because we're trying to dispel the myth that healthy foods is either too time consuming or expensive. So we've got a great executive chef here to help us do that. Let's talk about some of the contributing issues to child obesity, and you mentioned one being more sedentary life. What are some of the ways that we can encourage our children to be more active?
Well, certainly kids are going to be more active if parents are being more active. So it's really important that parents have to be a role model. So, thinking about how to reward your kid for a good day at school is to go outside and play hide and seek with them instead of taking them through McDonald's.
Okay, so those choices, and I know we have on our site and continue to have, speaking of models, the plate model. Just rethink about what that dinner plate looks like with half of it vegetables or plant food, a fourth protein, a fourth quality carbohydrate. Let's also talk about other contributing factors to this unhappy scenario that we have here in the United States, and that is psychological. Many times we eat, we're not hungry. What is it we're trying to feed?
So most people have learned from your parents or grandparents, if you are sad, if we're mourning, if we're happy, we eat. And we need to think about it, rethink that a little bit. And so if you're trying to fill a sadness void, we need to do some other activity, listen to music, talk to a friend, versus eat ice cream. Okay, so not using it as much as a reward, and taking care of the happy and sad times with activities other than food. Sure, and also recreating some of your family traditions, so that if you're used to everyone stays around the Thanksgiving table until you can't move anymore, build in a thing where you go out for a walk, you play football instead of just watching football.
In our family, the tradition is, if the weather permits, after we eat, which is usually, early afternoon, we go for a walk, and then of course we have dessert. But we go for that walk, and it became a tradition.
Those kinds of things are really exciting, and even modifying some of the recipes that have been passed down for many years to make them slightly healthier, and it can help the greater family.
Which we're going to do in a minute on the show. Okay, one way that I know we consume calories is from what we drink. How do we help our children with those decisions? What should we be saying to them?
Sure, so water and low-fat skim milk are probably the very best choices that you can make, and particularly in the summertime, it's a lot easier to wrap your mind around drinking water. You can add some fresh fruits or vegetables to try for some different tastes in the water, but those are going to be the things that we think about being the very healthiest choices. You don't feel
And it's not time consuming to do that.
Right.
Right.
And you don't feel any fuller if you have a soda with your meal or a juice with your meal. It doesn't make you feel any more full, so those are just really what we consider empty calories.
And they have such fun water bottles now that I think that's encouraging to the children to grab that water bottle instead of the soft drink or any sweet sugary drinks.
Absolutely.
We are now going to go talk to Whole Foods. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share regarding the behaviors around eating and healthy choices?
So one of my very best things is your children won't eat vegetables if you don't eat vegetables. So if we're talking about that plate model being half full of vegetables, you need to really think outside the box. You need to try those vegetables 10 times before you know if you'll actually like them or not. So that means a lot of, maybe some funny faces, but the very best way to improve kids' eating is for parents to improve that in their activity.
And you've also said that when you're introducing a child to a new food, have it next to something that's familiar so that the whole plate isn't like, I've never seen this before.
Right. We also don't encourage kids to, always clean their plate. The Clean Plate Club, we hear about starving children in other countries.
We do.
We need to focus on having kids learn to listen to their own bodies in terms of how full they are. And we also don't want to, if you're introducing a new food, we don't want kids sitting at the dinner table and waking up for breakfast with the next morning with that thing. We want to try a couple of bites and then we want to move on so that it doesn't become something that's you have
a power struggle
absolutely.
That takes it clear out of what we're trying to do at the end of the day.
Right, because you can control the foods that you make and serve, but your kids actually get to control what goes in their mouth. We're not really going to force any food down because then they'll just spit it right up. So we don't want to have that power struggle.
Right.
We really want to have kids liking the foods and trying them in a positive environment. Because in a family meal, what makes you want to sit down and have dinner together with the family is that you have positive interactions.
Right. So creating that environment for exploration and trying something new and being real encouraging whenever they do, not so much a focus on the negative. Another thing that you have provided for us, and it is on the website, is a list of activities by age range for children to do instead of sitting in front of a screen. Thank you. Again, thank you for sponsoring Cooking with Kids, and now we're gonna go talk to Whole Foods.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabikoff. This week we are in the kitchen at the cooking studio. We're getting ready to continue our special feature, Cooking with Kids. To answer the question today, what's for dinner? Before we begin cooking, we're going to be talking to Whole Foods Market that so graciously provides the space and the produce for this series. Thank you. Jennifer Matasic, who's been with us since the very beginning. It is awesome. It is,
it's been fun.
It's been fun. Let's talk about how it all begins. You're in the grocery store. How do we manage our time in the grocery store, particularly with our children?
Certainly. Well, first of all, engage them in the experience and make it fun. There's a lot that they can really experience. There's a lot of sensory things to experience as far as the smells and the different textures of foods even. So, feel free to give them part of the list depending on what age they are. Shop with them, but have them search and find for those things. It's kind of like a treasure hunt. A lot of stores have different sampling things. As long as kids don't have a particular allergy or whatnot, let them try something before you buy it. That way you know if it's something that they might eat later on, and it's also giving their palate something new to experience.
Well, I also like it that they start becoming engaged in decision making for what foods are good for them. And you've reminded us before, but shopping the perimeter is where most of the fresh food product is.
Yes, you really want to shop the perimeter, and I recommend starting with the produce first, your vegetables and your fruits. That's really a great place to begin.
And it's easy enough to get to here at Whole Foods. So let's talk about getting the pantry ready for dinner, because that's what we're doing today, dinner.
Wonderful. Well, one of the things to remember when you're getting the pantry ready for dinner is that a lot of what you make for dinner can be used for lunch later on, or maybe even incorporated into breakfast. So that's kind of a nice thing to know.
Forward thinking.
Exactly.
Getting organized makes it less awesome to
Yes, definitely. When it comes to your pantry, you can do a lot of things like different grains, and it doesn't just have to be whole grain pasta, although that's a great choice.
Right.
Quinoa has been really popular lately, and
High in protein.
it's fabulous
Yeah,
and very,
delicious.
very versatile. So you've got a lot of different choices with your whole grains, and those will last a really long time for you. Same with legumes or beans. Those also are a great choice, and you can do canned. We recommend doing low sodium when possible, but you can also do dry. It's really not that hard to get your beans cooked and ready to go. Very versatile. Also has some things in there with some different flavors. Make sure that you've got a lot of spices to choose from. That makes it fun and flavorful. Also, some different things as far as vinaigrettes go. Some different olive oils and things like that will really help you go far.
So you can have in your pantry ready to go a fairly quick and inexpensive dinner for the family.
Most definitely.
And the children have been with you to help shop and get ready for this. Let's talk about Andy's list. I love this list. It's the nutrient density list, and some of this is just about educating yourself. After looking at that list a few times, I really feel prepared to go into the store and make good decisions about getting the most nutrition in that shopping cart.
Excellent. Yes, Andy, Aggregate Nutrient Density Index. And really,
I knew
Andy
you
is
could
your
say
friend.
that part.
The nice thing is,
Andy's your friend. Oh,
yeah,
good. Yeah.
you just want to find out what you like off of that Andy list. And essentially what it is it's individual ingredients. So like kale has an Andy score of
Amazing.
1,000. That is one of the most nutrient-dense foods that you can eat. So when you're eating nutrient-dense foods, you don't need to eat as much in general because you're getting those things that you need from that food. So kind of pick and choose, and it's easy to remember, oh, I like kale. I can use kale in salads. I can saute that up. Or
And there's surprises on the list too. Bison. That, you know, it's a red meat, but it is more nutrient dense and has less fat than chicken or fish, which I found amazing.
it is kind of wild, yes. And the nutrient density index works in the way that the fat is calculated into it. So some of the meats and the cheeses will not have a very high Andy score, and that's just because the fat content is throwing it off. Now, it's not to say that there aren't healthy fats, because there are.
Of course.
You can get those from nuts. Avocados are a great choice.
In olive oil.
Uh-huh.
In olive oil, because we
Yeah.
love olive oil.
Yeah, sparingly though with olive.
Sparingly with olive oil, but part of it, any chef will tell you. So let's talk now about, you've been kind enough to make one of your produce people available. We're frequently asked, how do you know how to pick a really good avocado or mango or kiwi or whatever? And we thought we'd devote a section of this show to how to do that. So let's call Terry in. Okay, we continue our chat with the chef portion here at Whole Foods with one of their produce people. Terry, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to help us do this, because it's just not intuitive on what is a good vegetable or fruit. So can you give us some general tips?
I picked a selection here of the things that are very, very much in season right now, but I can talk about some of the things that are trickier too. On asparagus, what you're looking for is a very firm head. You don't want a scent to it. Anything that smells like old canned asparagus used to smell like, you don't want to eat that.
No?
You want it to be pretty fragrance free and a nice firm bud with no moisture at all or softness.
And also no wrinkly stuff.
Yes, and when you get it home, you're just going to snap it off, and this is, gone, and this is what you're going to eat.
Or you could use this for your vegetable stock if you want.
Absolutely.
That is gorgeous. And I can vouch for how good this is, because we ate it last night.
They are so good.
It's green candy. It was
It
so
is.
good.
It is.
It was great. Okay.
Vidalia onions are in stock, or brand new right now, and they're going to have a little bit of a wrinkly skin to them. You don't want a green shoot, is what you're really looking for on an onion.
It's showing some age.
Yeah, it is.
And I
have not heard that, but it very well might be true.
I was a dog in a former life.
There you
so
go.
You see me smelling all
There you
kinds of
go.
things in the kitchen.
But they're very good, and at home for your home use,
It looks
if it's-
juicy. Maybe that's
Yeah,
another.
you want it to be heavy
Heavy.
for its size, so that it isn't dried out.
So it's got a lot of moisture in it, which is an indication of freshness. And okay.
At home, if it has a green shoot, it's fine. It's not harmful in any way.
Right.
You just don't want to buy it that way. It's not going to last as long.
Okay.
These are little apriums. I got a little torn up.
What is that?
It's a little apricot type vegetable.
Now that's
fruit.
Yeah,
not
there we go.
vegetable. Yeah, wonderful scent. And what you're looking for is the tiniest little give. If it's really hard, it's just not ripe yet, but it'll get there. It'll get there on your counter.
So again, that heavy forest size,
not wrinkled,
juicy, no wrinkles,
not bruised,
dust.
not rotten spots.
Okay.
And
that's true for most fruits.
yes, especially your stone fruits like the peaches, the apricots. You want them to just be starting to ripen. Cherries, just round and plump and shiny and beautiful. Yeah, they're just coming into season. They're wonderful right now. Strawberries, same thing. Just look for, a package. There may be one bad one in a package, but you want to look for just a real plump fruit, not real dark.
Are you looking for really red?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so
but
that's
they will
something
get
I'm
redder
learning.
as they're ripen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not so much red is just juicy and fresh looking for
kind of
your
the
strawberry.
the shiny looking. If it's starting to look dull on all the berries, they're gone over. On a raspberry, you want a very bright color. The darker it's getting, it's still going to be good, but you're moving toward being over the edge.
And what about lettuces?
Lettuces, you're just going to look. You want to look for a head that doesn't have a lot of brown spotting at the butt end, where it's starting to age a little, and nice, fresh, kind of a crisp. Not a lot of brown spots, not brown on the edges. Very fresh and crisp is what you're looking for.
And I always say smell as much as you want to, and
Absolutely.
you're buying this, it's going into your body, and it should be the best thing that, the best selection with all of, you're using all your senses then.
Melons are kind of an interesting one. Cantaloupes is one you really are going to use the smell on. You can go to the blossom end and see if you can get a nice florally cantaloupe scent. And again, look on the skin. If it's starting to get soft somewhere, that's not
for
the
you.
one. On a watermelon, you want a hollow thump. You can
That's
go
what you
along.
see people do.
Yeah, you really just kind of whack it, and you will. If you do 3 or 4, you'll definitely hear that ringing kind of tone. And
So
that's
by
the one
comparison,
Yeah.
here Jennifer's just talked about shopping with your kids, and this is a great way to get them involved by helping them select the produce, so they're participating.
And they can help you wash it at the beginning of the week too, so that you've got everything ready to go.
Yeah. And in our department, they can sample anything they want. Just ask one of our associates, like, can we try this? And we'd love to cut you a slice right there.
That's an important issue.
It makes it very fun.
If you're not sure of what it tastes like, if it's kind of apple you've not had before, you all are wonderful about that. And then the children get to help decide.
Well, and they
based
love
on-
that.
They love that.
Yeah, they do. It's like, man, eat through the grocery store. What's more fun than that?
It makes for a fun experience. Well, we've got the produce, we've got the information from Children's Mercy. I think it's time for us to go into the kitchen with Chef and the kids and cook with them. Ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabikoff, and we are in the cooking studio at Whole Foods, cooking with kids to answer the question, what's for dinner? And to do that, we have Executive Chef Travis Napier from the Bristol Seafood Grill. And with him, you couldn't do it without them. I know, are his 2 helpers. And that is Brenna and Hannah. Ladies, how old are you? How old are you, Brenna?
6.
And you?
4.
4. All right, the first thing you do before you touch food, what might that be? Wash your hands. Okay. All right, here comes hand washing. All the little hands in and all squirts of soap. All right, now, Chef, while the ladies are drying off, will you tell us our first dish that we're preparing?
We are going to have a chicken roulade. Basically, it's chicken breast, kind of thinly smashed out a little bit. We roll it with spinach and some Parmesan on there, so have a lot of good flavor, and it'll be fun and colorful for the kids, and kind of an eye-catching. And we're also going to have some creamy polenta and honey glazed carrots.
Are you ready to help Chef? Yes? Okay, let's go do that. Okay, Chef, we're going to make the chicken roulade with the help, of course, of your sous chefs,
Yes.
Brenna and Hannah. What do we have? This is a mise en place. Do you see all the ingredients are ready and in a bowl, ready to go? And that's where you all can help get them ready to go into the bowl. Now Chef's going to show us how to cook it, okay? Okay.
All right, first things, we'll start with the chicken. We just want to take our nice chicken breast here. Kind of go through, trim off all the fat that we're not gonna
This is the
want to
adult
eat.
part of it. This is, you know, a sharp knife's what the adult does. But you're watching and see how safe he's being. And he's cutting off all the fat because we want this to be as healthy as it can be. So it's gonna be all protein. Okay, so Chef, you're kind of opening up
Right, we're just gonna
the chicken breast.
lay it with the skin side down, and we're gonna kind of just make a few incisions, and what that will do is kind of flatten it out without us having to
Pound it.
pound it.
But if you're
or-
frustrated, pounding works.
Right,
Have
exactly.
you ever seen anyone pound meat before? Okay. Well, it helps to make the chicken or the beef more flat.
Yeah.
And
One thing, we're just gonna go ahead and put some fresh cracked black pepper in there.
okay,
Okay.
maybe one of the girls would like to help with the salt.
And if you can just grab a little bit of salt.
Like pinch it between your fingers and go way up. Okay.
Perfect.
Very good. Just kind of all over.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done the salt and pepper.
Right.
Now, Chef, what next?
We're going to take some fresh spinach, and we're just gonna kind of
Now, can the kids
lay
help
it out.
do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
You guys
right,
wanna pick some
you
leaves?
guys are sort of artistic here. I'm going to move this out of your way. See, these are baby spinach leaves. They're smaller and they're really tender.
Next up would be just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. If somebody would like to put some in there,
We got it.
just kind of all over.
Do you
it.
like cheese, ladies? Yes. You know what's going to happen when that cooks? It's going to get all melty and it's going to taste very yummy.
Let's get just a little bit more in there.
Maybe a little more than that.
I think that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Chef knows. Okay, so
You guys
come
are-
picture, remember what that looks like.
Right.
I know you're gonna help mommy when you go home to make this dish at home.
Okay, after
Yeah?
that,
Was that enthusiasm? Mhm.
after
Okay,
that,
Chef.
we've got it pretty well laid out. And what we're gonna do is kind of turn it towards us just a little bit.
Okay, watch. This is where the chef, this is where his skills are with his
And
hands.
we're just gonna kind of roll it,
He's making it
Okay.
like a jelly roll. Like, do you see that?
just like this. Okay, kind of
Okay.
tuck that in there, okay?
That's chicken. It's an interesting look, isn't it?
These butcher strings, we're gonna simply just put underneath here.
If you
Okay.
don't have butcher strings, I have a confession. I use dental floss.
That'll work too.
With no flavoring in it.
Toothpicks work really well.
Yep,
You
whatever.
kind of skewer, so.
Okay, look how he's tying
Basically,
it.
we're just gonna tie this like we're tying our shoestrings. If you guys
Do you
want
wanna
to finish
tie?
that off.
Okay.
I don't know how to tie.
You don't know how to, because you probably have Velcro shoes, don't you? Uh-huh. But you can watch your, oh, look at her tie a bow. But you will. You're gonna learn how to do that really soon, I can tell. But
Perfect.
That's,
I've been practicing.
you've been practicing? Well, you can practice on chicken and your shoes at the same time.
One more time.
Okay, one more tie. That is an acquired skill. There you go. And the fingernail polish is the added aesthetic
Yes.
to the preparation.
That will take you a
Yeah.
long ways.
Oh,
So,
you
chicken
go.
is ready. We're just gonna
More
add
season-
a little bit more salt.
Okay,
just
ladies,
very
you know
little
how
on
to
the
do
top.
that. Good job. So you're doing a good job in making sure it goes. Do you want pepper?
I would love this.
Okay. Do you guys know how to do the peppermint?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do? Okay.
All
Well,
right.
you're about out of a job, Chef.
I know.
Are you?
I hope my boss
I
is
know
not
how to
watching.
do
Yeah, I
that.
know. They're really worried
I
about
know
it.
how to do that.
You know?
Perfect.
Okay, wait.
You wanna try it?
She's gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay. You do know how to do that. Okay, next time we see you, you're gonna be tying your shoes, I can tell. Okay.
All right. Next step, we're just gonna take a nice little pan here. We're gonna put just a little bit of oil in there just to give it something to cook with.
This is a healthy fat.
Right.
So what is this, like a medium or?
Yeah, I would say medium flame.
Medium flame? Okay.
Don't want it to get too hot to burn through the string.
All right, and then how do we put this down?
We're just gonna actually set it right
Set
in
it
there.
right like it is.
Yes. It shouldn't be too hot, but you should hear just a little bit of sizzle.
What do you hear? Can you hear it cooking? Then you know the pan's hot enough. But if it were just, you don't want it to burn, you just want it to cook. Okay.
You know what? I just said it's really hot.
It is hot, that's why mommy and daddy do this part.
And then we're just gonna go in the oven, 350 degrees for 12 minutes.
Okay, 12 minutes, and while we're doing that, we're gonna make the sides.
Yeah, we're gonna continue on.
Okay,
what we
so
have.
this goes in the oven, and Mommy or Daddy does that. Okay. The chicken roulade is in the oven,
Right.
and we're ready to make the sides. Your sous chefs are prepared to be
Yes.
helpful in any way. So what's the first thing we should do?
These are just real simple sides. What we have here is a polenta base. You can cook this ahead of time, keep it in the cooler. You can see the texture is just a little bit.
It's like cornmeal mush,
Right.
or what we would call, okay.
Right, but it's really firm right now, so we're gonna add some water to it just to kind of fan it out and
Okay.
break it back down. We're gonna start our fire again, just a medium heat once again. We're gonna start off, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of water in there to get going.
Okay, and again, you can purchase this already prepared if you don't
Right.
have the opportunity to make your own polenta.
Right.
And, okay.
Okay, we're gonna put this big piece right here. One of you guys would wanna throw it in there for me.
We'll bring the pan over. There you go, Hercules.
Perfect. I'm just gonna kind of break this down just a little bit more.
It doesn't have flavors in it yet, but isn't it interesting? Yes. Okay, so you're getting some new tastes, because we know you've had chicken before. Now you're having a new taste. Corn in a different form. Okay, see what Chef's doing? He's taking a spoon, and he's gonna make this real creamy. And he's gonna have wonderful flavors to it. All right, so the polenta's going.
Polenta's going. Broken it down just a little bit, and the water's starting to boil down.
What is this, ladies? A whisk. And why do you think Chef's using a whisk?
To stir it up.
To stir it up, right. See, look how different that looks than when Chef first,
It's starting to get a little bit,
Look at that.
a little bit more runny. If you guys eat oatmeal, it's kind of the same texture.
so it's like, yeah, like eating warm cereal in the morning.
Right.
Okay.
What we're gonna do now?
What's Chef
is
doing now?
I'm gonna bring this over here.
Uh-oh, he's gonna need help.
I'm gonna
I
need just a
can feel
little
it.
bit more pepper in there.
Okay, now this is hot, so
Pepper?
Yep, just a little bit higher so you're not getting burnt there.
good job. Do you want any salt in it?
I think we're gonna hold off on this.
We're gonna hold off on the salt.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, that's perfect.
okay, we're gonna lift this up. There you go. So what is pepper? What flavor does pepper have? Tell me. Hot. It's a little spicy. I think it's very interesting.
So I'm just gonna add just a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there, if you would like to help
Okay,
me
you
do
can
that.
do that because how much Parmesan?
Oh, let's do a couple more pinches like that. That's perfect.
Those are great pinches.
Yeah. As soon as you take it off the heat, it continues to cook, so we don't want to get it too thick. It'll be really
Because it's still hot, so
It's
it's
still hot.
cooking even though there isn't a fire underneath it.
Right.
Right.
okay.
Because it's
So we're gonna set this off to the side.
What are we making next? I think it has honey in it. You might want to pay attention to this part since you...
honey, honey.
Honey.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pan going
She likes
beforehand.
She likes honey.
With no oil or anything.
Syrupy?
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut up this shallot.
This is
Very
a-
similar to like
Doesn't
an
that
onion.
look like an onion?
Yeah.
It's not.
Except it's purple and
It's, yeah, well, there are some purple onions, but this sort of has, would you say it's a combination of onion and garlic?
Yeah,
or-
it's not quite as
Smell this.
Do you think it's a little
strong.
It's a little strong.
Is it smaller?
Yes. Yeah, that's actually
that's-
that's actually the size of it. Look how tiny Chef, and look how he keeps his fingers curled up so he doesn't get cut, right?
Right.
Right. Again, that's an adult thing to do. That is a teeny tiny dice. So how do you think that onion's gonna make this taste?
Like,
How do you-
kind of
Like spicier again? Yeah, a little hotter? Okay.
First thing, we're just gonna add the carrots straight in. No oil.
There may be some honey
Should be
involved
just
here.
a little warm. If one of you guys wants to dump that in there.
Oh, good job. Okay, I think we're gonna absolutely have to have Hannah do the honey.
I think so, too.
We'll have a party if we don't.
I know.
Yeah.
So carrots are good. They have a lot of water, a lot of should have really sweet flavor to them. And just even doing this in the pan by itself, you can kind of see the moisture from the carrots starting to kind of come out. And it's really, that's kind of one of the cooking methods that's really overlooked, is cooking with water in general, especially with vegetables. It helps bring out, some of the nutrients from the carrot or any vegetable really. And it also is an instant heat factor. So if I put water in here now, it would just be really hot and it would kind of start the process.
So we didn't put any water in here.
Right.
No water. We just took carrots in a non-stick pan, no water, and look how they're cooking all by themselves.
A lot of times when you put oil in there, they'll tend to get brown right away or things like that.
And
we're
if
just
you're
kind
not
of
going for that, then, right.
I'm just trying to bring out the most flavor that I can get.
So this is going to really, really, really taste like a carrot. You could be blindfolded and you would know this was a carrot. Oh, honey.
All right, I think it's time to get this in there. So.
Oh, well, yeah, she's going to. Should we bring the pan over?
Yeah.
There we go.
We're not even going to use this because you can't have too much honey. So if you use this, you would just get just that little amount, and we're going to want a whole bunch more than that.
Okay.
So.
Are you ready to do the honey?
All right.
Everything we're cooking with is sweet and healthy.
And healthy. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so don't get near the pan, but there goes the honey. How yummy is this going to be?
All right.
Not
That's
bashful.
perfect.
Okay. Good job.
Nice.
Do you think your finger needs to go along there? Just to lick your finger?
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of let this honey kind of break down a little bit. Should get a little more liquid consistency to it.
Literally, it's carrots and then honey, and I haven't touched it with anything else.
Right.
And one of the things we know that kids and adults like is color, and we're gonna have that on the plate.
We should have plenty of color, I'm hoping.
Plenty of color.
So next step will be we're just gonna add our little shallot in here.
Okay, so after the honey, then the shallot.
Right.
That is a gorgeous small dice. Okay, Chef, what next?
We're just gonna do some fresh cracked black pepper in there, not a whole lot, and then just a little bit of salt.
So now it's gonna have, who can smell this? Can you smell
Should
yet?
smell okay.
Just smell.
Nice and sweet.
But
Can you guys smell that?
It's sweet, but you can smell the shallots too.
It's like
We're continuing cooking in the cooking studio at Whole Foods Market, answering the question, what's for dinner, with our executive chef, Travis Napier, and our sous chef, Brenna. Thank you for helping us. All right, we're on to our second dish. What is it, Chef?
It's just gonna be a real simple summer salad. You see a lot of colors, a lot of fresh ingredients, some ingredients that you wouldn't expect to see in a salad, but they're always very good for you, and they add a lot of flavor to it. So.
And things you'd have in the refrigerator anyway, so you grab it real quick on a hot summer night.
First thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna start our potatoes. We're just gonna roast these potatoes. We could cut them any shape you would like to. We're just gonna take just a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just gonna throw it actually right onto the tray, right in the center there.
So we're just having almost no fat here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Once we get those on, the oil on there, we're just gonna throw the potatoes right on there. Just kind of spread them out, but just make sure they get a little bit of oil on there, keep them from sticking. And then we're going to do the salt and pepper.
Okay, now you're good at the salt and pepper part. You want it on the potatoes?
Yep, just right there on top of the potatoes.
See, all around, so every potato has that little bite of.
Perfect.
And
do a little bit of pepper.
Pepper. Yep. You've been in the kitchen before. I have a feeling that you have, and I just learned that Brenna has a vegetable garden at home, so she's already got a head start going. Do you know what this is? Can you smell it?
This is just fresh thyme. It's got.
Look how Chef did that.
Not too overpowering, but you always just kind of want to make sure you pick the leaves off and.
Okay, we're gonna have you just peel it. If you grab it like from here and run your fingers down, see if you can get some leaves off of it. Okay? Go it, just real gently. See? You don't need to be in the kitchen anymore and just have Brenna in there. The Bristol, and you got
Perfect.
it.
She's welcome anytime.
That's perfect. Okay. All right, so you've salt and peppered the potatoes.
Salt and pepper. We got some fresh thyme. We're just gonna give this a rough
That's
little
the
chop.
daddy part.
And it doesn't have to be too small. So it should give some nice flavor.
And I happen to know that you're growing thyme in your garden at home. Yeah, Mom told me.
All right.
Okay, and that's it?
Simple as that. We're just gonna throw this in the oven, 350 degrees. These will take a little bit longer, 12 to 15 minutes.
12, 15 minutes.
Yep.
So that's why we're doing the potatoes first.
Right. We've already, we've got some shrimp here. They're already kind of cooked off for us.
And that could be left over from the night before.
Right.
Again, great leftover
Very-
use of a leftover. Yeah.
You just want to make sure you take care of them properly, make sure they get cooled down
Really fast.
in a proper time.
And back and into the refrigerator.
Right.
Okay, so what else for this delicious dish?
We're just going to take our big tomato here.
Now that is a serious big tomato. Look how beautiful that is. See these colors?
Kind of like to do is just kind of keep cutting down
Okay.
all the way through the center.
This is our little.
Well, little tomatoes can taste good too, but the important thing is the color, and it was firm and it didn't have any bruises on it. See, now watch how chef's gonna finish
We'll just
cutting
keep
this.
kind of breaking these down. Any shape or size.
Is it mostly bite? Are we going for
Yeah,
bite size?
we're gonna try to get some
Okay.
nice bite size so that all our ingredients kind of match the right. What we can do is we can start building our ingredients right here in the salad bowl while we're waiting for the potatoes.
Okay.
One of the summer lettuces that I really like is arugula. It's got a little bit of kick to it, but it's kind of peppery, and it goes very well with things as tomato and corn.
And some people call it rocket. Is that also rocket, or is that
Yeah,
something
that's-
else?
right.
It's also rocket?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I know you're growing lettuces in your garden, so you could use whatever lettuces are your favorite, but
Right.
Chef wants this flavor.
So we're just gonna add in probably about a cup of arugula in there.
Big handful. Beautiful arugula, yes.
And I'm gonna get you to add in about the same amount of spring mix.
Okay. Look at all those pretty different colors. They all have their own flavors, and they're all good for you.
We're going to start with all our dry ingredients. What I have here is just some chopped bacon.
You knew that you'd already cooked off, and then
Right.
just finely
Just
chopped
finely
it.
chopped it. We're just gonna kind of sprinkle that in there.
Yum.
Just about a tablespoon, not too much. That should add quite a
And
bit
you
of
can
flavor.
cook up bacon in advance and either warm it for breakfast or use it as garnish,
Right.
or it's multiple uses. One of the chefs, was it Tyler Florence, thinks it's its own food group.
Really? It can very well could
Yep.
be. It's so
But
gross.
again, such a small amount, so we're keeping the fat way down,
Right.
and we got a lot of flavor for this.
Right.
So yeah,
And then next up, we're just gonna add some fresh corn. You can,
Look
if you're
how
growing
pretty
corn, you
that
can
is.
grill it, or that's perfect. Thank you so much.
okay. Look at the colors. It's already fun before you even eat it. It's fun.
We're going to take our tomatoes that we cut up. Okay, just kind of put them in there as well. It's about perfect there.
Look at that.
Okay.
See, we have a party in the bowl.
Avocados are one of my favorite things to cook with, especially in salads
Oh, yeah.
or just
I like
plain.
avocados. They make a good dip.
They do make a good dip. See that you can do so many things with them. I think we're talking chef school here, Mom. I think that's
And
where we're going.
they're really, really healthy for you too.
Now look how beautiful this avocado is.
So one thing I like to do, I just
Watch how he does this. This
Kinda
is
take my knife.
interesting.
and that skin's so thick that you can take the knife and just kind of run it along there, and it's not going to
The
cut.
parent thing. This is the parent part.
It's not going to
yeah.
cut through there.
See,
If
now
you
look
want
what
them
he's doing.
just like that, you can cut the little slivers out. But we're going to continue with the theme of little cubes, so we're going
Okay.
to kind of cut crossways here.
The seed's really big.
It is really big. And you know what? Instead of having to chop it and mush it up, because this is soft flesh, he's actually chopping it inside the skin. Now watch what he's going to do.
Kind of just
Look
pop
at
this
that. That's fun.
underneath, and you should start to see all the nice pieces of avocado come out in the center.
I've seen that done what, with the mango? What have I seen?
Yeah, mangoes are the same.
Okay.
Okay, we're just going to add those right in there.
See, they didn't get mushed up. Mush is a very technical culinary term. Okay, chef, so the potatoes are roasting. We've assembled the ingredients for the salad,
Right.
and now time to make the vinaigrette.
Right.
And you have a sous chef to help.
I know, she's been
Yes.
doing really good, and we're gonna finish out strong here, so. First thing we're gonna do, if I can get you to do just a little bit more time.
Remember how you did it? Okay, for the potatoes. Let's go the other direction. I'm going to show you to go that direction, like the opposite of the way time grows. Look at that. All right,
Perfect.
what next?
We're gonna
chef?
add just a little bit of raw sugar. Just a little bit, it kind of helps get.
See, you wouldn't think of
flavor in there.
sugar in a vinaigrette, but just a little teeny bit because we're using vinegar. It really makes the flavors yummy.
Right.
Okay.
We'll do the salt and pepper.
Okay, you
once
already
again.
know how to do that. We're talking serious salt capabilities
Yeah.
here. And
We'll do
pepper,
some
you know how to do
fresh
that.
pepper now.
So look, all the dry ingredients are going in first. Okay. We're gonna
Perfect.
have lots of flavor in this.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit of fresh shallot once again.
Parent thing.
Okay. They're already kind of in a nice line for us, so we're just gonna cut these really, really small again.
Look how he does that. I'm gonna have to work on getting my shallots that small.
Then we're just gonna add in some olive oil right here. You start pouring and I'll tell you when to stop. How about that?
Pretty color.
That's good right there. Thank you.
Very good hands.
And then we're going to add in some apple cider vinegar.
And that's a little milder vinegar too,
Right.
so it's not so overwhelming.
Do just
Chef
a
will
little
tell you
bit
when to
here,
stop.
not too much. That's good there. Incorporated too well, I just kind of want to get the flavors in there.
Okay. Okay, chef and sous chefs, you know you eat with your eyes first. You get excited before you even eat something if it looks good, don't you? So chef's gonna show us how to make it look good on the plate.
All right, our chicken came out.
Yeah.
An easy way to kind of do is just grab it by the string there. Put this over for you. Okay, then we're just gonna simply cut off our butcher string here.
Now this is, you know, this is again is a mommy or daddy thing to do.
What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our polenta mix over here. Should be nice, good texture to it.
Really just mostly added some Parmesan cheese.
Yeah,
and-
Parmesan cheese and a little bit of pepper. Okay,
Okay, look how pretty he's putting that there for a special reason,
we're just
okay?
gonna go right in the center there. We're gonna take a few of our honey glazed carrots just on the back side.
Look at
course
those
you-
colors.
Want to get in some of the honey and the shallots
No,
also.
especially with our sous chef, yeah,
Right.
he's a big honey fan.
Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and slice up our chicken. This is pretty big chicken breast, so I don't think we'll quite use the whole thing. So what I'd like to do is kind of just cut the first piece off because there's not going to be a lot in there.
Look how chef's cutting that, again, taking very special care not to cut himself. He's kind of sawing it. And the surprise is what's inside. Because you wouldn't expect to see spinach inside of your chicken, would you? No. So you've got green and yellow and orange and white. Kind of makes you just want to eat it because it's so pretty. You know what? This is beautiful. I think any child and or adult would want to eat this. And now it is time to do the taste testing. Okay, chef, all of the ingredients are prepared and ready for our summer salad.
Right.
So what next?
We got our potatoes just right out of the oven. You can see how nice golden brown they are. You can either choose to let them cool down to room temperature, or they're not going to hurt anything in there. It might kind of actually make the dressing stand out just a little bit more if there's a little heating element to
And so, you know, sometimes people like to have hot and cold in their mouth.
They do.
It's interesting.
It's kind of one of those texture things.
A texture. We're going to do a texture thing.
So
okay.
we're going to go ahead and throw the potatoes in there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're just going to take our dressing and we might as well just pour that whole thing in there.
Yep.
Let's do a couple more just like that. Perfect. All right. Now we'll take that spoon there. We're just going to kind of mix this salad up.
So the dressing sort of brings all the flavors together.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when you do dressing at home on your salad.
Okay.
That is a gorgeous, gorgeous salad.
The thing with salad, when you do salads, obviously all the heavier ingredients are going to kind of sink to the bottom. So I kind of like to let them be that way because then all the salad mix will kind of go on top, and then we'll kind of dictate how much goes on there.
So literally, if you had potatoes that you had roasted the night before, everything is really cooked, ready to go. This is about putting it together and whipping up a vinaigrette.
Right.
Which could take 10 minutes.
Right. It is not a whole lot. It can be a good variety of, you know, different oils or different vinegars, whatever kind of.
Be adventuresome. You can use infused oils and vinegars.
Right. There's all kinds of good products out there.
And all the herbs, so you could help Mom add some more herbs to that. Okay.
So we're done there. We're going to take our shrimp.
Do you like shrimp? Yeah.
We're just going to kind of, we can do all kinds of different designs with them. We can just lay them on there.
Doing. What's he doing? He's making a design. You know, he cooks a lot of seafood at the Bristol Grill, and so he knows. He's just an artist with food.
I kind of like to just set them up.
Oh, look how fun that is.
Just like that, right in the middle. Or however you would like to put them on there.
Okay, Chef, so we eat with our eyes first, and you have just seen Chef Plate, which you helped to do. And now we're going to taste it, because in the end, that's what it's about, how it tastes. We've been hard at work in the cooking studio at Whole Foods with Executive Chef Travis Napier from the Bristol Seafood Grill. And now our sous chefs, that would be Brenna and Hannah, are going to taste this creation. So why don't we start? Come here, you. Does this have honey on it? Do you think you might like it? It's not hot. See? Would you like to taste a carrot? That had the interesting shallots on it. Remember how we mixed up flavors? Yum.
I just like a honey carrot.
It's a honey carrot. Okay.
The carrot's like a honey taste, a honey carrot that it's kind of like a little hot.
Okay. So spicy and sweet. Okay, now you're going to tell us what this is. I think we have a chef in the making over here.
I think so too.
Yeah. Very distinguishing taste.
She's more than welcome on my team
And this
anytime.
is a cornmeal kind of cheesy.
Can you taste the cheese? Yeah. This one is yours. Okay. Deep breath. Getting the air in so we can, you know, yeah, like a sommelier. Yeah, the sommeliers do it. What do you think of that? Yummy? It's good. Okay. Executive Chef Travis Napier has been cooking in the kitchen with his sous chef Brenna. You both have worked very hard, and now we're asking you to taste the dish that you helped create. So you can pull a shrimp off and then take a bite. Would you like to do that? And you know, you just eat the end of it. That's it. You can put it right straight in your mouth.
You can do this a couple different ways.
Okay, wait,
You could
Chef's
either
gonna show you.
just kind of pull the tail off and cut it up and eat it with the salad, or you could just go ahead, like you did just before, and eat it by itself.
We'll see if we can find a bite for you. I think I found a bite. Do you like potatoes? How would you like to try that bite? Yes? Okay. That's a big bite for a little girl. That means a whole bunch of flavors in your mouth. Well, Chef, I want to thank you very much. You have a very busy schedule for taking time out to be here and contribute to Cooking with Kids. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And the Bristol Seafood Grill for
Right.
making you available as well. And Sous Chef Brenna, I want to thank you. I know you had a busy afternoon and you come and you've helped cook. Are you going to go home now and help your mom cook? Yes. Okay. All right, thank you both.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your help.